So for many people, money is tight these days, and for many of us, we may want to start this year looking for ways to save money, reduce spending, get ahead of debt, and also to just increase the amount of cash we have so that we can live more comfortably in this year and also in the near future. And with that, one method that I have found has become super popular in the most recent years is the no spend challenge. The idea is that you stop spending money on non-essentials for a fixed period of time, and this can be anywhere from 1 day, 1 weekend, 1 week, 1 year, and for some people even decades. And there are many people who are taking on this challenge because they want to achieve some of their financial goals as well as just create good spending habits. So if you are considering starting or need help with your no spend, no buy challenge, here are some of my favorite tips that will help you on your journey. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. So the first tip is to set clear ground rules for your challenge. By definition, a no spend challenge is when you stop spending money on non-essential items for a specific period of time. So it's important to understand what is 1, included, and 2, not included in the challenge. You're going to have to spend money during your no spend challenge. You still need to eat. You most certainly still need to pay all of your bills. But the idea is that you only spend on necessary things, the things that you deem essentials, and nothing else. And because I always think it's such a good idea to write things down, that means that you have a clear indication of what is you can spend your money on and what you can't. And that way, there's no argument with yourself or with your family when temptation comes knocking. So that means you should start out with a list of what is an essential spend, and that will help you determine clear rules on what you can and cannot spend your money on. So start by creating that list. Write it down in the means that makes sense to you, on your phone, on a piece of paper, on a blackboard, on a whiteboard, whatever it is. Just list out all the things that you deem are essential to you so that you don't neglect these key necessities while you're trying to save money. Make sure you include everything that you need to pay. So I'm talking about your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, your phone, your insurance, and your internet. And also, if you are a driver, make sure you budget for things like petrol, because if you're going to do a no spend weekend, you need to make sure you have enough petrol beforehand. Then after you've completed your list, what you'll be left with is everything that is non-essential spending that you can now avoid on this challenge. And this can include things like takeaways, entertainment, online shopping, getting haircuts, and so forth. You get the idea. So for me, I've decided that I'm not going to be spending any more money on clothes, especially because I'm working from home a lot. I'm in tier 4, so that means that for a while I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my home. So there's no need for me to purchase new clothes for myself. I just have to utilize what I have at home, and the money that I would have otherwise spent on clothes, I can then use that to save for the things that I want. It's also important that you set rules that make sense for you, as a no spend, no buy challenge is completely personal to you and your spending habits. But if you need a good generic rule to follow, then what I like is, if you don't need it, don't spend any money on it. Once you've determined what is included, the next thing to do is to set a time frame for how long you will be doing your challenge. So this will completely depend on your goals. You may want to do a shorter no-buy challenge, or you might want to go for a longer time period. When you are getting started, think about why you are doing the challenge and have a clear goal set at the end of the challenge. Maybe you want to stop spending so that you can free up some time to pay off that one credit card bill, or maybe multiple credit card bills. Or maybe you want to cut down your spending because you want to pay off as much of your mortgage as you can and as quickly as you can. Or maybe you've just set your eyes on a dreamy beach holiday somewhere in the Caribbean for a good 2 weeks where you can soak up that wonderful sun and you can escape to when the world gets back to normal. Or maybe you just want to recover from a slight overspend over Christmas, and so you want to use this as an opportunity to create a new lifestyle of spending habits. But whatever the reason, because like I've said, it's really personal to you, have it written down clearly and then determine whether it's a long-term or a short-term challenge. So, for example, if you have a goal like you just want to recover some of your Christmas overspend, then maybe a no spend or a no buy month might be the best choice for you, as it's a shorter term commitment. Whereas if you have a slightly bigger goal, such as repaying off debt or changing your spending habits, then maybe a no spend year or a no buy year might be the appropriate option for you. Another important thing to recognize is that it's super important to make sure that the goals you are setting are realistic and they match your current lifestyle. So you may be a person who needs to test things out slowly and gradually build it up, or you may be a person who just likes completely diving straight into changing your spending habits and going completely cold turkey. Whatever works for you, find out what method works for you, what time frame works best for you, and adapt to it as you go. If you're somebody who prefers not to spend money during the weekend or during the week when you're busy at work, then set your short-term goals and your no spend challenge in the manner that works best for you. By setting simpler goals in the beginning, it can actually increase your level of success and instill a sense of accomplishment for taking on bigger challenges later on. Now you've got your list of no spend items, and now you've decided whether or not you're going to do it over a short term or a long term period. Now it's time to get your team together. An important factor for success is to make sure you have everyone around you on board with this challenge. And this is especially true for families who want to practice the no spend challenge. If your spouse does not buy into the plan, chances are you are less likely to succeed in meeting your goals. Similarly, if you have children, it's important to explain to them how the challenge works and the benefits that come from it. And then on top of that, you can make it into a nice game where everyone could have a wish list and they can write down one thing that they really want at the end of the no spend challenge. And the added benefit of doing this is that you teach your children how to save for things that they like. And this is a money habit that will not just benefit them in the now, but will also benefit them for their lifetime. So once you've had your time frame, you now have your goals, and now you've even got your team on board, the next thing to do is to reduce and avoid the temptation to buy. To become successful with this no buy challenge, you're going to have to change your spending habits. And to do that, you need to remove any temptation to buy and to spend. I mean, you can ultimately just rely on your willpower, but I know for a lot of us, doing so will only lead to letting ourselves down. So instead, we're going to set ourselves up for success, and we're going to remove any access to credit, and we're going to try and use cash where possible. So this could mean hiding your debit and credit cards and changing the way you spend your free time. I know this is one tip that is going to be a challenge for me, and that's because I genuinely love spending my free time browsing online shops, and I'm more likely to spend my money and buy products when I see a good deal. But that doesn't always mean that I need it. And you may be the same. So to ensure success, we both need to use our free time very differently to the way that we use it currently. So instead of shopping, the alternative is to find something else to do, like maybe work on your home and do those projects that you've been wanting to do for so long. Maybe start that side hustle that you've been keeping aside for a while. And worst case scenario, just go through your bank statements and remind yourself why you are doing this challenge. Whatever it is, find ways to keep yourself busy where you aren't going to be tempted to spend your money. Another thing you can do is hide your debit and credit cards. Store them somewhere where only you can access them in an emergency situation, but not somewhere where you'll just be really tempted to do some unnecessary or unneeded spending. And of course, where you do need to spend, you only spend on essentials, of course, and you only use cash. And that's because paying with cash will force you to stick to your goals. You have a finite amount of money, and that's all you can spend. And that way you're reducing the temptation to spend, and it can help you not only form good habits, but ultimately change your life. And of course, whilst you are taking on this challenge, it's super important to always remember to focus on the positives. Not spending money the way you used to can easily bring in a sense of deprivation, and that can leave you feeling a little negatively towards the challenge. So it's important to focus your attention on what you do have and what you can do, rather than what you don't have and what you cannot do. If you know that shopping is your favorite pastime hobby, hello, especially before the no spend challenge, then maybe write down a list of frugal activities and do those things instead. For example, if you love shopping online like I do, then what I like to do is visit free recycling websites like FreeCycle. And the beauty is that you still get the same thrill of acquiring something new without having to spend any money. Then if you match that with learning a new skill like upcycling through channels like YouTube, which are free, and obviously using things that you already own in your house, you could then end up with a bespoke item that is one of a kind that you have now without having to spend any money. The no spend challenge is a great first step to saving money, changing spending habits, and of course, living frugally. It gets you in the mindset and habit of not spending money, and the savings that you make by not spending that money, you can now put towards meeting some of your financial goals, be it paying off debt, increasing your emergency fund, achieving your goals, or even just saving for something that you genuinely really would like without having to pick up any additional debt. The no spend challenge can also be the first step in helping you reach financial freedom by living a more simple life, and that way it gets you much quicker to leaving the rat race. So let me know in the comments below if you'll be taking on a no spend challenge this year and for how long you'll be doing it. If you've done a no buy challenge before, let me know. How did it go? What are your top tips? Would you do it again? Are you going to embark on it this year? Don't forget to check out these videos if you want more tips on how you can live frugally and save money, make money, and of course start your journey to financial freedom. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. And until the next video, thank you so much for all your support. Do take care. Bye. Mwah.